a case study of a Shark Tank company that used storytelling to lower their cost per customer acquisition, and I'm going to show you how to do the same. So let's get started. The company I'm going to mention here is BetterBack, that I did run ads for them a few years ago. And you might be thinking, Sarah, I heard that the copy doesn't matter. It's all about the targeting. It's all about the image. Copy on Facebook doesn't matter. And before I present you the case study, let me tell you why I disagree about the copy not mattering and why storytelling is really important. Facebook is interruption marketing. It's the same thing as being in a coffee shop. People didn't type certain keyword on Google where you could just raise your hand and say, hello, I could give you what you want. People out there are having a coffee. And the question becomes, what could you say that is interesting enough that they would want to listen in? If you go to Starbucks in normal time when everything is open and you could go to a coffee shop and there is not normal, what do they call it? Social distancing. If you go there and say, hello, buy now. If you don't buy, you're going to regret it and it's going to be the worst day of your life. Why are you not buying? It's not going to work, you see? If you go to the next table, they're going to tell you, who are you? If you go to the next coffee shop, they're going to tell you, who are you? Even better than having an interesting story that make people want to listen in, imagine two people talking. They say, hey, I'm in Madrid. I'm really struggling to find vegan food. Everything has meat in it or milk or butter or whatever. And you're listening in and said, excuse me, this restaurant across the street, they have a vegan menu. If you go there and you tell them you are vegan, they would give you food that is 100% vegan. Now, that's interesting. People say, oh, that's really interesting. Thank you. Now, let's go to the case study. And this is a blog post I wrote on Adespresso. But Adespresso, every 2-3 years, they take old blog posts down for SEO reason. Anyway, BetterBack is a really, it's a company that got a lot of success. They appeared on the Shark Tank show. They got an investment offer from Lori Greiner. They raised over 2.2 million on Kickstarter, but their Facebook ads stopped being profitable. Why? Think about real estate. People saying, oh my God, rent in San Francisco or Seattle or London is more expensive today than 5 years ago. And it's normal. It used to be that Facebook had only 1 million advertisers, then 4 million, then 7. Now they are at 12 million. And because there are more and more advertisers, and the growth in number of advertisers started growing faster than the number of users, the same thing as real estate, it gets more expensive. If you go to Paris on the New Year Eve, you're going to pay quite a lot. And I remember I had a conversation with Catherine, and during the call she was telling me, Sarah, I think the problem is finding the right audience. So I asked her a question. How many people in the United States suffer from back pain? I mean, she raised money from professional investors, so she did her market research. And she started saying, oh my God, if you're over the age of 40, it's over 1/3 of the population that they have back problem and so on. And after she started talking about how widespread the problem is, I said, what if your problem is not a question of targeting? What if you're reaching the right audience, but what you're telling them is not convincing enough? So I started asking questions. This is the previous ad, and the mistake people make is just saying, hello, this is what I do, and they think just stating what the product or service does is enough, that you don't need any persuasion. And I started asking questions. I'll show you the ad in 1 minute. I'm like, I want an ad that looks like I'm reading a page from the diary of somebody who need your product or who have used your product. So I started asking questions like, who is the average user? Is it somebody who can no longer play football? Or is it somebody who cannot longer walk? I said, oh, it's office worker. A lot of them are office worker, and they work really long hours and they could no longer go to work. And I'm like, okay, what does that look like? Is it on average somebody who is an investment banker making million and they're not going to work? Not a big deal. Or is it somebody who could no longer pay rent? I said, oh, a lot of those people end up on disability. What does disability look like in the United States? I asked. Oh, you get paid only 60% of your salary. And then she's like, oh my God, I have that story, which is this ad here. Let me see if I could put it bigger so it's easier to read. Of this single mother working 12 hours in a call center when her back pain meant she could no longer work. As a call center with a single income and a kid, 60% of her salary didn't go far. She was using her whole life saving just to try to pay rent to survive. And even the vacation she booked for her kid at Walt Disney, she needed to cancel because she could no longer afford it. She was in survival mode. And then the grandmother has seen this Shark Tank episode and bought better bag for her daughter, and it made day and night difference. And using ad like this was the difference between losing money on Facebook ad and becoming profitable. And it's not only about becoming profitable, actually using storytelling got them the most sales in a single day from Facebook ads. And you might be looking at this ad and wondering, my God, that's a really long ad. Do people read it? Well, let's think about it this way. You have horrible back pain. You cannot sleep. You can no longer go to work. You're on disability payment, etc., etc., etc. If you're the target audience, would you read long copy about something that could help you? Yes. But it's also about not making long copy for the sake of long copy. It's about using storytelling, having it entertaining. I mean, people would read Harry Potter and it's a huge, huge, huge book, but it's all about being entertaining. It's not about long versus short. It's about feeling, oh my God, I see myself in the story of that person. But let's see if people read or not. This is about the profitability, but I was just trying to look at the comment section. Let me put this on a little bit smaller. I have somewhere in the blog showing all the comment the blog post got. Let's see if it's this still the case or not any longer. Oh, here we go. I was looking in the wrong place. So let me enlarge this. And you could see here it got 400 shares, 1,000 likes, 400 comments. But let me show you something else. So this is a blog post I wrote on Copy Hacker about ad copy. It's a full tutorial how to write ad copy that works. But let me show you one example. It's basically 10 tips on 10 different ways to write ad copy. And one of the ads here, I could click on it and I could show it to you. And it's basically, again, use a story. It's a parrot that used to speak English with a British accent and then got lost and came back and said, Hola, habla español. And The ads say there is a moral of the story that sometimes a language is paying attention to sentences and words people use at a high frequency and repeating them, and that's how one learn a language. By the way, we have a free PDF with common Spanish sentences. And let's look at the comment section. This one got 159 comments. Some of the other ads, actually there is one ad that got 1,600 comments, but the story about a parrot, the comment is not telling us stop spamming us, or this is a scam, this is a spam, please don't invade my news feed. People are actually telling story about parrot, like, hey, parrots, hey, here somebody, let me find it here, let me see here. Somebody's talking about a parrot that got attacked by 2 cats and so on. Parrots again, and oh, I found an injured parrot in my backyard and I taught the parrot different dialect. So again, people are talking about parrot. A friend of mine gave me a cockatoo and so on. So it shows that people did read the ad, because the ad is not talking about, I don't know, a story of a parrot, and people are telling us how they are single and looking for somebody to date them. They are not. The ad is not talking about a parrot, and the comment are not about the political situation in country X or Y. So people read long ad, they read long story, as long as it's entertaining and it gives them value and it's not a waste of their time. I promise I'm not showing you cat for the sake of showing you cat. There is a teaching behind these pictures. Ad fatigue. One of the complaints you always hear, oh my God, my ad stopped performing. Did Mark the Zuckerberg change the algorithm again? How dare he? No, not really. Think of an episode like Big Bang Theory. Hence that image in front of you. Maybe they air on Thursday and they get 5 million views, or whatever number of views they get. I didn't check that. Then on Sunday there is a replay and they get another 3 million views. Maybe they translate it to Spanish, Japanese, etc., and they get a more view. Now, if every single week they showed you the same episode over again, you will stop watching. And that's where storytelling and content-rich ads are not only wonderful but also fabulous, because by changing the content, giving people new content, new value, new stories, you continue to capture their attention. And if we go back to the Shark Tank story, so this ad show the cost per conversion. Here it's under $20, around 19, and then on December 17th it increased to $67. It was no longer profitable. This is the ad here. But then something happened here. Early January, we see there is another ad where here the cost per sale is $19. Here is $67. Here is $19. Let's look at the ad. It's a different ad copy, but it's also a different angle about different type of people who might want to use the product. The first one was somebody who worked on a desk. Here is somebody who played baseball and football, got injured, and this product helped with their recovery. You see, we're talking about a different audience. And sometimes with storytelling, you could think, who should use my service or product? And you might find that there are 5 different audiences for different reason that they might use it. And then you could basically, for each audience, write a different ad copy, but it also help with ad fatigue. I mean, in this case study, for example, we had an ad that said, hey, is getting drunk helping you speak? Yeah, I prefer to show you blog posts and actual Facebook ad that I did run, as opposed to just say, hey, here is 20 slides and spending 20 seconds per slide. Does, according to university research, getting drunk help you speak better a foreign language? But it's not about the alcohol, it's about confidence. You know what? You could get our 33 common sentences as a way to increase your confidence, and that was getting us lead under around $1 for a while, and maybe 6 weeks later the cost per lead go to $4, and then we change it with our lovely parrot story, and now we're under $1. Remember what I told you about Big Bang Theory? It's nearly the same when it comes to Facebook ads. I'm going to speed up because the presentation shouldn't be over 20 minutes. But I wanted to show some example of another ad. And the reason is I think a good ad doesn't look like an ad. Roughly 30% of internet users have ad blockers. So our brain, if we see something that looks like an ad, like, no, that's an ad, continue scrolling. And let me find it here. Here. So this is an ad I wrote for my blog post here. And again, it used story about how a company in the UK hired people out of jail as their best employee and how that gave them very loyal employee. And I drive a link between that and ad copy and doing things differently. And if you look at the comment section, people are saying, oh my God, I read the whole thing and I didn't even notice it's an ad. Yeah. So people are not telling me, hey, stop spamming me. You see? Here, I read the entire ad copy before I even saw it's an ad. That's what you wanna do. When you tell story, one thing you want to be careful. Don't just say, oh my God, I got a great result. This is the best product in the world. Because why should people believe you? Here, I'm just making fun. Where I say, I did teach a cat how to do lead gen, and now the cat is eating lobster and caviar. And why do I do that? I mean, you could today go on Fiverr and people would record a testimonial for you. Actually, there was a TV investigation where somebody said, hello, I'm a lawyer. Hello, I'm a university teacher. Hello, I'm a doctor, and I recommend that product. For people to believe you, you need to give them value. You need to have an ad that is both entertaining and educating, that you give me a tip that my brain will go, oh, aha, I learned something I didn't know. This changed my perspective. This is interesting. It's by teach me something I didn't know. After I read the ad, I should be able to say, oh, aha, I learned something new. And yeah, that's really everything. Here is my website, and if you go there, you could connect with me on social media. You could see all the link to the different blog posts I shared here, because those are very, very long blog posts that are longer than being able to present them in 20 minutes if you want to read them. Or if you have questions, just contact me via my website, okay? Have a nice day and drink more coffee, okay?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a time-saving social media system that is going to help make your content creation process for social media feel a lot easier and more achievable so that you can show up consistently every day. I'm really excited to dive into this, but first, I just wanted to introduce myself and who I am. My name is Brittany, and it is so great to meet all of you from all over the world. I am a social media coach and manager based in Canada, and I help businesses and entrepreneurs show up on social media consistently, connecting with their followers and showcasing themselves as the expertise or the expert in their industry. It's something I'm really passionate about and absolutely love, and I'm so excited to share my knowledge with you. By the end of this presentation, my goal is for you to leave feeling like you have a plan and a system in place to create and schedule your social media with ease. Workflows are incredibly important, especially as a business owner or even in your team. This just helps us become more efficient, and that is the goal with this presentation. I really want to give you the exact systems that I use that you can replicate for your team, maybe make some adjustments so it suits you the best. And that way you're able to show up consistently on your socials without spending all your time on your devices. That is the goal. Now, I always like to set up these presentations so that you know what to expect today. What are we covering? We are going to go over target audience, and I know you have probably heard this so many times, but I just want to go over it one more time so you know the importance of it. I also am going to go through the time-saving content creation system that you can use. I also have templates shown in this presentation, so you can literally take a screenshot and replicate this for yourself. And then I'm just going over some quick tips to help you save time when you are creating your content. These tips were absolute life changers for me, and so I hope they'll be really helpful for you as well. I also like to go over what it is we are not covering today. And that's because there's just so much related to social media. And I'm sure there are other presentations here that will be reviewing these. So what we are not going to be covering is specific strategies for things like Instagram, LinkedIn, or Facebook. We're not going to review how to set up accounts. And we're not going into specific strategies or details related to hashtags, caption writing, reels, stories, insights, or stats. We truly are looking at the workflow and the system and process to help you create content consistently. I'll give some tips related to some of these, but we're not going into specific details or the exact strategies. And I just like to be upfront so you are aware of that. Now, every time I start working with a client, I always ask them, who is your target audience? So I want you to ask yourself that as well. Whether you are an agency, a product-based business, a service-based business, who is your target audience? Now, the reason this is so important, this is my absolute favorite quote, but when you speak to everyone, you are speaking to no one. And I'm sure many of us have heard this before. We really want to know who it is we're connecting with online. And we need to first understand, who do we want to build a relationship with, and who can we help the most with our product or service? This will help us to really curate our content specifically for that person. So this is important. Basically what I just said, when we know who our potential clients are, we know which social media platforms they are most likely using. And then we can be really intentional with our time when we're putting it into creating these posts that are going to connect with them, build trust, showcase us as the expert, and just really save us time overall. I often see a lot of clients putting all this energy and effort into creating content and no one's engaging back. And it's because they're not clear on who they're supposed to be speaking to. They're not using the language of their target audience. So it's really important to really know, who are we targeting? Who are we speaking to? I always hear this whenever I do presentations, but what if I have more than one target audience? And my answer is, you will. It is inevitable that you are going to have more than one target audience, especially if you have different services or products. But each audience might be on a different platform. And so you need to be really mindful of how you're speaking to that audience on each platform and create content specifically for them. Now, I just have John Deere as an example. They are an international farming equipment company, and their accounts, they have, the same kind of similar-ish content that they're posting across accounts. However, it's very targeted for the different demographics. So what they're posting on Facebook is really targeted to families, those who are farmers who are using their products. When you look at LinkedIn, their messaging is very different. They're talking about their innovative products, their quarter two earnings, showcasing what they're doing and accomplishing to investors or to potential buyers. And then on Instagram, you can tell it's for a younger demographic. So they're really focusing on like the young future farmers, or, using their products in everyday life, something that's very relatable and very visual. And so they do have different target audiences, and they're using it very effectively for each platform. And you want to do that as well. Now, if you feel like, how am I supposed to be on all of the platforms? That is why you want to get clear on who your target audience is, so that you can be like, okay, I have limited time. I know that my target audience mostly spends time on Facebook and Instagram. Those are the two platforms I'm going to focus on right now. Get really great at using those platforms and building an audience on those platforms before you start exploring or adding on other platforms that might make you feel a little bit overwhelmed, or like you're being a little bit stretched a little thin. So just wanted to put that out there and remind you, you don't have to be on every single platform. Without knowing who your target audience is, you won't know where to focus your efforts. And without focus, social media can feel very overwhelming, or sometimes like a waste of time. Or you can get that social anxiety, not the one where you're in a setting with other people, but that you didn't post something today. And I really want to help relieve any of those feelings you might be experiencing. Also, time is our most valuable currency. So we want to be as efficient with it as possible and create workflows in our system and in our business to help support us and give us back our most valuable currency, which is time. What most businesses, organizations, and teams struggle with the most, and that's creating content consistently. I remember when I was working in corporate that social media was the absolute last thing we focused on, because we were doing so many other things in our business. And that happens to a lot of business owners. However, if we had a system and a workflow process in place, we could have been creating content for the month ahead, spent time doing that, a few hours doing that one week, have it all scheduled, and then we only had to go in and engage with our audience. That would have been a lifesaver, but it was very reactionary. And a lot of businesses are like that. And it's because they don't have a system and they're not able to create content with ease. The system is truly the building block to developing a great social media strategy, but to also be there consistently for your audience. And that's how you really build trust with them, is by building that relationship with them and connecting with them and creating content that they want to hear from you. Now, I am sharing your content strategy that you can create for yourself. It's basically your content process strategy in 5 easy steps. So this is what we're going to dive into. I'm blocking step number 3 there with my face, but we're going to go through all of these steps right now. And then you can implement this with your team or for yourself in your own business. Let's start with step number 1, which is creating your content pillars. And some of you may have already heard of this, or maybe it's been called something else. So that's why I just want to explain it here. Content pillars are the foundation of your social media strategy. They are essentially categorized themes that are relevant to your business, your brand, and your target audience. These are the things you want to be talking about on your social media regularly. Content pillars are so important because they help you stay on brand. They help you save so much time on deciding what you should post. You're not wasting your energy trying to be like, what should I post today? You already know what you should be posting about. It helps to humanize your business, or for you to look back and be like, okay, we are not being human enough with our business, which is really important when it comes to social media, especially on Instagram. It helps you make sure you're showcasing your zone of genius, it provides an interesting variety to your followers. And another thing that I don't have on here, but content pillars can also remind us to talk about our services or what we're selling, which sometimes can be really challenging for us. Now, I want you to choose 3 to 6 content pillars. And to decide what content pillars or themes you're going to talk about, I want you to think about what is relevant to your business, relevant to your target market. Move my little face over here. What do you want to be known for or seen as the expert in? What matters to you most? So is there something you're really passionate about, maybe a certain charity or values that aligns with your business that you want to make sure you speak about regularly on your page? As well as what is personal to you and your business. And this is really important when it comes to personal brands, because sharing a little bit of what's personal to you, such as your dog on your account, that you absolutely love chai lattes, or you're a coffee person, that can get people to, like, when they see content in their everyday lives, they think about you. And if they think about you, that's super important. It means you're being top of mind to them. Now, I wanted to share an example of my content pillars. So if you look at my Instagram, and I apologize, I think some of my presentation is getting slightly cut off based on what I'm using to film today. But what you can see is with my content pillars, if you kind of went to my social media, you should get a feel for what I'm talking about, even just looking at it. And you might notice that I pull from one content pillar a lot more than other ones. But what I like to talk about on my social media is tips and tricks, because I am a social media manager and coach. Being an introvert in business and some of the struggles that other introverts may relate to, that's helping to build trust behind the scenes, showing what is it like, or how do you create a system or a workflow process for your social media. Mindset, mantras, and manifestation. That is really something that I'm passionate about, but also what my target audience really is passionate about too. So that helps me build a rapport and relationship with my target audience. And then I have my services promotion or any user-generated content. And user-generated content can be when a client gets off a coaching call and says how great it was to chat with me. I get to use that and reshare that as a post or a story on my social media. And I always put my services as its own content pillar because, as I said, it's really easy for us to want to just showcase how incredible we are and be really humble about that, which is really great. But when it comes to the world of social media, we need to let people know what it is we offer. And when they know, then they will start to take action. And we can do this in a way so that it feels authentic and real and not like we're being pushy or salesy, but that we're sharing, showing, and helping. So this is what you want to do with your social media as well. You want to create your content pillars, and your content pillars can be the same for all of your different social media platforms. So don't think you need to create separate content pillars for Facebook and then separate content pillars for LinkedIn. Your content pillars are the overarching themes you're talking about. It comes to when we come up with our topics and write the captions that you're going to then tailor it for each social media platform. I hope that makes sense. Step number 2. So now we have our 3 to 6 content pillars. Now we want to brainstorm topics underneath each content pillar. Content topics are the items you want to talk about. So these are going to be what you actually turn into your social media post. they fall underneath your content pillar. So I'm a very visual person, so I'm going to show you what this looks like. So here we have my content pillar, which is social media tips and tricks. Now, my topics, and actually I'm going to move my knee right there. My topics are the things that I'm going to actually turn into a post. So an Instagram story tip is something that I can turn into a post. The do's and don'ts on Facebook, caption writing tips. So, how to write a hook. Those can all be included as topics. And so that's what you want to do as well. You want to look at your content pillars and create different topics. Now, trying to come up with topics can sometimes feel hard, but it does not have to be. You want to look at, common target audience questions or struggles. Again, we're coming back to the importance of knowing your target audience. What are they struggling with? What do they desire to have as their transformation? Can I create a post to help support them in that? Things you could maybe teach, or a valuable message that you could share, or think about any products or services that you have that relate to each content pillar. So maybe you have a workshop coming up that's going to show people how to do X, which is part of one of your content pillars, and you can talk about it under there. Or you talk about it under your services, which is a content pillar. Now, I just wanted to show you the 10 that I brainstormed for myself, just to give you some ideas on what that really looks like. So I'm going to get specific. I'm talking about a specific platform. I'm not keeping it big and generalized. I do want to be really specific with my topics, because when we get specific, we can create content that is easily digestible for someone who's browsing on social media. And that's the goal. We don't want to give them everything all at once. We're not writing a big blog post for them. We're just giving them snippets. Now, when you brainstorm content topics, try to come up with 10 to 15 for each content pillar. And the reason for this is because if you have 5 content pillars, for example, and you brainstorm 10 topics for each content pillar, you now have 50 social media post ideas. If you do this as a team, or even for yourself, if you spend an hour just brainstorming, you have content for the next, 2 to 3 months, depending on how often you're posting. Also, this meme I just relate to so much. I don't know, if you can't see the top, it says when you work from home and you have a client, and your client wants to have a video call, and it's like, I'm not ready. Okay, I'm really excited to show you guys this. So this is a template you can use to brainstorm your content pillars and topics. If you love using Google Sheets, this is going to be for you. So you just kind of come up and write down your different pillars and then brainstorm topics under each one. And I already have 30 topic ideas here for my social media, which is fantastic. So you can easily recreate this for your own social media or for your own business. Another thing you could use is Trello or Word docs. So for example, if you've never used Trello before, it's just a free program and service, and I'm not affiliated with them. I just am recommending them because it's a free tool. You could also do something like this in Asana or ClickUp or Word doc. And so essentially all you do is you create a content pillar board, and then you just list them. So exactly like I had it in the Google Sheet. I had my services, I listed my 10 ideas. I had social media tips and tricks, and then I listed my 10 ideas. So then I can always just come back into here and add new ideas, or if I've used an idea, maybe take it away. But it's always it's somewhere where I can just like brain dump ideas. And remember that when you are creating your social media, especially when it comes to brainstorming, you can add to this anytime. So if you have a brilliant idea that just popped into your head, make sure you put it and store it somewhere so that it doesn't disappear. And as I said, you could also use a Google Doc or a Word doc if you prefer that method as well. So that's just brainstorming 10 to 15 topics for each content pillar. Step 3. So we came up with our content pillars. We brainstormed 10 to 15 topics for each content pillar. Now we need to decide how many times can we post per week consistently. you want to look at, to help you decide this, you want to look at how much visual content do you currently have? How many images, graphics, or videos do you have or will you need to create? And then look at your schedule and how much time can you dedicate to posting each week. A good general rule of thumb is to post at least 3 times per week. If you can do more, awesome. Better to just do at least 3 times a week consistently versus having 1 week where you're posting 7 times. The next week you burned out, so you only post once. The week after that, you post 3 times. The algorithms don't like that. They like businesses and organizations that are showing up consistently. So you want to take this into consideration. When it comes to how much visual content do you have, you want to look at a few different elements. So you can use, spaces and places, people and products, some flat lay shots, which are primarily more for product-based businesses. Same with people and product. A product one. This one over here is tools and ingredients. We have infographics and quotes. People, which is great for, personal brands. And then any videos, reels, IGTVs, anything like that you want to share as well. So look and think about what kind of content could I use for the different topics that I'm brainstorming. And it's kind of nice to just brainstorm that out as well, because then you're like, okay, perfect. I know that for this topic idea, I want to create a carousel post. And then you just gets it out of your brain so that you can then have that energy and space to focus on other things in your business. Now, one way if you're just starting out and figuring out, okay, how much time do I actually have to create content, is start scheduling your time and schedule your time on how long it actually takes you to create content right now. I currently use a tool called Toggle Track. I use their free version, so you can use that as well. If you use something like ClickUp, I believe they have a timer, or there's a few different types of free timers you can find online. But whenever you start creating content, put on that timer so you can get an idea of how much time you need to dedicate to your calendar each week for the different tasks. So I would track your time for brainstorming, for caption writing, I would create a separate timer for, and for scheduling content, for creating your graphics, create a separate timer for. And then that way you can be like, okay, in total, it takes me this long to do my social media for the month. Or it might even give you insight that maybe I can outsource my graphics because that's taking me way too long and I'd much rather focus on this in my business instead. And just as a general reminder, quality over quantity of your posts is so important, and you want to be posting and showing up consistently each week. And video is becoming a lot more important, as I think we are all realizing. Step 4 is to visually plan your posts and map them out. Again, I said earlier, I'm a visual person, so I find this to be so important. But every month or the beginning or end of the previous month, grab a calendar, either a physical one, like a day planner, or a printable one that you can print off, or one that you create online on like Google Sheets, and map out what's coming up for the month so that you can see, what do you need to be aware of? Are there any important dates you might need to participate in or that's important to your industry? And so then you can mark and figure out, okay, these are the days I'm posting. So this is an example. I want to post 3 times a week. So the stars are the days that I'm posting. And then I look at, okay, are there holiday dates coming up? So for example, there was St. Patrick's Day in March. And then I look at, okay, do I want to post on that day, or does that relate to my industry, or do I want to move this and post on a different day because I know this is going to be a busy day potentially and it doesn't relate to my business, or do I want to be a part of that? And so map out your posts so you can kind of get an idea of what you're posting. The other reason I love doing this too is, let's say, for example, you have a workshop coming up on the 27th of March. Now you can work backwards to be like, okay, how often do I need to be speaking and talking about this workshop to let people know about it? And what am I going to be saying? And so this just helps make it so much easier. So here's an example of it being mapped out then in Google Sheets if that's something you prefer. So we have the days of the week, and then you have the date, and then you have the content pillar listed, your content topic, content type. So is it a carousel post, a reel, or a picture? And then I also include like a quick little call to action. So this is just to help you plan and get everything all seen in one place. If you have a team, this might be really helpful, especially using Google Sheets, because you can all come in and refer to it. And now step 5, which is to write your captions and schedule your posts. Again, you want to look at how long it takes you to do this, and over time you'll be able to block out, maybe an hour to 3 hours in your calendar to write your posts and captions and then to schedule them. When you're writing your post, you just always want to remember, what is it that my target audience wants, which is why that's so important. But then also, does my post educate, inspire, entertain, or sell? Every time you create a post, I want you to ask yourself that. And then I also want you to ask yourself, which target audience is this post intended for? You want to just strive to provide value every time you post and create content. When you're writing your captions, a couple tools that you can use. So there's Google Sheets, and I'll show you what that can look like coming up. Trello, again, I'll show you an example of what that looks like. Evernote can be really helpful, especially if you want to type something out on your desktop and then open it on your phone and copy and paste it in, like hashtags or story captions, because you should always have captions on your stories so you can type them out on your desktop, saving you time. Open up the app and just copy and paste the captions into your stories that you pre-film. Planoly or later, you can also write out your captions. And then to schedule your posts, there's a few different tools. There's Facebook Creator Studio, which is free, Canva, Planoly, Later, Hootsuite. There's so many. Planable, there's so many that you can use depending on what size of your business is. Do you need something that's free? Do you need something that can hold multiple teams? So it really depends. So here's an example in Google Sheets of how you can write out your captions then. So the other example I showed you was just brainstorming the topics and then mapping it out in a calendar form and kind of getting confirmation from your team, like this looks good, yes, we can move forward. And then you can write your captions in here. So you can kind of see, you have the time it's going to be going out, any special hashtags like on a special holiday, if there's any behind the scenes stuff, what your content pillar is, your photo, hashtags. And then if you are a team, it's kind of nice to be able to put in a status. You can be like, this is in progress, or it needs to be approved, or has it been approved? So that's kind of nice that you can do that in Google Sheets. And then this is an option for you in Trello. So what I like to do is I have my ideas all brainstormed here, and I even have real ideas brainstormed. And then I go to my social media drafts and I just pull one of the brainstormed ideas over into my drafts. I click on it, and then I can write my caption straight in here. I can add in hashtags. I can add in my photo so I can see what it's going to look like. And then once that's done and I have it scheduled, I just move it into the completed social media posts board. So that's, if you're visual, this is a really helpful way. Again, other programs like ClickUp and Asana can give you this option as well. So this is just an option that I wanted to share, especially if you're more visual like I am, then this might be a good option for you too. So your turn. We went over the 5 steps for you to start creating your content system. So you want to first come up with your pillars, 3 to 6 pillars. You then want to brainstorm 10 to 15 topics for each pillar. You want to you want to look and see how many times per week you're going to be posting. You want to then visually plan out your posts on a calendar, and then you want to start writing your captions and researching your hashtags and scheduling your posts. All right, I want to go into just some time-saving tips, which is task batching your social media. Now, task batching is going to save you so much time. I'll just move my little head over here now. So This is when you want to schedule time in your calendar to work on similar tasks. And this will help prevent your brain from having to switch from so many different things throughout the day, saving you a lot of time and mental energy. Now, when I say brain switching, that's like when you go from creating a graphic, which is something very creative, to then something like writing, which is maybe a little bit more focused. And it takes time for our brain to switch to this type of stuff. And so several studies show that it takes an average of 23 minutes to refocus your attention on different tasks, and which I found to be so fascinating. And then John Media, in his book Brain Rules, he said that it can take 50% longer to complete a project if you are task switching. And so what I used to do when I was creating social media is I would try to finish one whole post at one time. So I would brainstorm the topic, write the caption, research the hashtags, create the graphic, schedule the post, and I was like, okay, I'm done. But I was switching between so many different things. Like researching hashtags is very different from creating a graphic or editing a photo, which is a little more creative, to then writing the caption, which is a little more focused, to then scheduling the post, which you don't need to use a lot of brain power doing that. And so it was actually taking me a lot longer to get my post done. So what I started to do then was actually group tasks together. So I would brainstorm and visually plan my content. I would then write captions all at the same time. After that, maybe I'd brainstorm my photos. And then if I had to do a photo shoot, I would plan all of that on one day, or like film videos at home. And then I would research hashtags, and then I would schedule the content. So I tried to batch everything together. This is just an example. It might not take you this long depending on how much content you have, or it may take you longer if you have a lot of content that you're creating each month. But it changed everything when I started to do that. A couple of other quick time-saving hacks is to create hashtag sets for each content pillar. So each of those content pillars that you brainstorm, the 3 to 6, come up with 3 different hashtag sets for each content pillar. And then you can just kind of go in, copy and paste, or grab a few hashtags from this and this to put together when you're posting. It will save you so much time from researching. Just make sure to refresh those hashtags every quarter or every 3 to 4 months. Then when you are going online to engage, because engagement is so important, especially on Instagram, make sure you set a timer. Give yourself 15 or 20 minutes to engage. Set that timer on your phone, and when it goes off, you are done. That means you don't get stuck in scrolling, which can be a little bit of a time waster. Set social media boundaries with your phone. Spend more time creating rather than consuming. And just remember that social media is supposed to be fun. So see everything you do as an experiment. And really, once you have this process in place that I just went over, you're going to find it to be so much easier to create content in the future. One thing I forgot to mention with the content creation process, once you've spent time brainstorming your content pillars and your topics, you don't ever have to do that again until 3 months later, or when you need to refresh new topics. You then the next month just have to look at the stuff you've already brainstormed and start writing your captions and scheduling your posts and creating the graphics, which will save you so much time. And that's everything. I really hope that you found this to be helpful. I know for me, once I finally put in a process, it just made my life so much easier. And hopefully you can experiment with this, see if it works for you and your team. And I would absolutely love to connect. So if anyone has any questions, if you further about what I chatted about today or anything else related to social media, I'm here to talk about all things social. Please feel free to reach out. My email is here and my website, and you can connect with me on all of these social platforms. I'll be honest, I mostly hang out on Instagram and but also on LinkedIn. And so I'd love to see you on those platforms too. And thank you so much for your time. Good luck with your content creation process, and I hope you can create your social media posts and show up consistently with ease. Have a great day, you guys. Thank you so much.
Hi, I'm Shawnee and I'm owner of SC Strategies and I'm a freelance marketing and social media manager from Belgium. Let me talk about why you should consider Instagram, Pinterest, and TikTok marketing for your business. If you're familiar with social media marketing, you're probably aware of these social media platforms. But are you running them for your business already? We're now living in a time that everything is getting or might already be digitalized. I can sum up a reason why not to be on social media platforms with your business. If you're not already using Instagram, Pinterest, and or TikTok for your business, I suggest to listen carefully. Let us talk about Instagram first. Instagram has been on the social media market for many businesses for a long time, and although some might find Instagram dead, it's still important for your business to run your marketing strategy on Instagram. Not only is Instagram a great way to have your company visible on social media, Instagram also still has a lot in store. They have many different options in the app like Instagram Reels, Instagram Stories, IGTV, Instagram Shopping, Instagram Guides, and more. Now, let's go deeper about a few Instagram specifications you definitely need for your business. First up, we have Instagram Shopping. If you're running an e-commerce business, this one's for you. If you're an e-commerce business and not already using Instagram Shopping, you're actually really missing out. Instagram makes it easier for brands to sell their products on its social media platform. You can tag the items in your post so it can be seen by your followers on the Instagram feed. Instagram has also recently updated Instagram Shopping to be a more customer-friendly experience. Instagram Shopping comes with an extra tab on your profile where your followers or prospects can see your Instagram Shopping store. It shows the price, detailed pictures of the item like you would put them on your online store, and once they're interested in buying it, it directs them to the product on your actual web shop. Now, in some countries, there's also a possibility to pay directly in the Instagram app. This is interesting for businesses that don't have an online store yet, but if you do have one, I recommend directing users to your website for traffic and, of course, remarketing advertising. Now, please note to set up Instagram Shopping, it will take some time, and Facebook has put some strict rules on it as well, especially since we're in the pandemic. So if you're willing to try out Instagram Shopping, I suggest you look up some tutorials and inform yourself. Now, besides Instagram Shopping, there are also Instagram Guides. Instagram Guides are actually a nice way to give Instagram users more detailed information about a product or service you provide. It's like a mini blog post, but on Instagram. Instagram Guides come with an extra tab on your profile as well. You can also include other people's Instagram posts in that guide. Think about user-generated content. Now, Instagram Guides are a great way to create awareness around a certain subject your company wants to make a statement about. Although these guides won't help with SEO like an actual blog post will do, I do believe your business's credibility will definitely rank higher. So make sure your guide is set up thoroughly because the longer users spend time on your content, the more Instagram will push your profile to current and new followers. Now, if you think about Instagram, of course, you will think about Instagram advertising. So next up is Instagram advertising. Just like running ads on Facebook, you can run ads on Instagram using Facebook Business Manager, but also directly in the app for a concise but limited method. I do suggest running your Instagram ads through Facebook Ads Manager as you can rely on your pre-made audiences and many other options. With Instagram ads, you can advertise stories, posts, and carousel posts, but don't expect to gain lots of followers through your advertising. Unfortunately, you can't invite post likers to follow your page like you can on Facebook. Using Instagram ads is actually a really great way for more reach and brand awareness. Feel like your post misses some engagement? Advertise that post. Now, on the other hand, Instagram ads are also great for your remarketing strategy. It can display the products you want to retarget in between stories, for example. Also, don't miss out on other conversion campaigns if you're looking for email subscribers for your website or you want people to download your ebook. Trust me on working with Instagram ads. Now, this is all for Instagram, so let's move on why you should consider using Pinterest for your business. Just like I heard about Pinterest a long time ago, you might still have the idea that Pinterest is only used for gathering inspiration for your new interior or summer wardrobe. But actually, it's so much more than that. If you're on Pinterest, you'll share pins that might interest you, a life changing quote, an idea for your new bathroom, do it yourself tips and tricks, hobby suggestions, and so on. So, if you're a business and want to reach as many people as possible organically, Pinterest might be the perfect social media platform for your business. Because once you've completely set up Pinterest, you'll reach more people and get more traffic to your website. And let me explain why. Pinterest works as a visual search engine. So it's important you use keywords and hashtags on your pins, but also in your profile's bio and name. Think about Google's search engine. Whenever people come to Pinterest, it's because they're looking for a specific thing or are having a particular problem. And if the thing might be something your business is selling or you have a service to fix their problem, make sure they can find you. Make sure the content you want to post is also valuable and shareable. And once it's been shared for the first time, the ball might start rolling. You can create pins on Pinterest, video pins, story pins, and carousels. These pins can be infographics, pictures, simple text, and so much more. As long as it's quality, you should be good. Now, unlike Instagram or TikTok, you actually can put a link on the pin which will direct to your website and therefore generate traffic. For me personally, that's one of the biggest reasons for your business to be on Pinterest. So let's talk about a few Pinterest specifications you should use once started. First up, we have Pinterest widgets and buttons. Pinterest has made a widget and button builder for your Pinterest profile. If you set up these Pinterest widgets and buttons on your website visitors can interact with your Pinterest profile or pins. You have a follow button, which makes customers automatically follow your Pinterest profile once they have clicked on the button. You also have a pin widget. These will let the customer pin your post to their Pinterest profile. Then there's also a profile widget, which will lead the customer to your Pinterest profile. And then there's a board widget that will lead the website visitor to a Pinterest board of your profile. Now, the main reasons for these widgets and buttons is for your website visitors to be aware of your Pinterest profile. If they'll follow you on Pinterest, it's more likely they'll see your content passing by more often, as not everyone would subscribe on newsletters. Now, another funny thing about Pinterest is the Pinterest sections. If you create a board full of pins on your Pinterest, it can be a little too chaotic. That's why you can work with sections on Pinterest. It's like a subboard where you can specify multiple items in boards. This makes it easier for users to find what they're actually looking for, making it clear and accessible. For example, when you write a blog post, you also divide that blog post in different sections. This is basically the same thing, but with visual boards. And also, nothing better on a social media platform than advertising on it. So here's some more info about Pinterest advertising. Once you have a business account on Pinterest, you can start advertising on the platform. Just like on other platforms, you can choose your advertising goal like reach or conversion. You can advertise pins, boards, carousels, and even application ads. Application ads make users download your app directly from Pinterest. What makes Pinterest worth advertising on it is that the audience on Pinterest, which is around 440 plus million monthly users, that the audience is actually really active. Pinterest's audience exists of 60% women and 8 out of 10 women are millennial moms. So, and also, did you know that 83% of Pinterest users make a purchase after they've seen a brand's content on Pinterest? Which means Pinterest users have the highest purchase intent than on any other social media platform, which is a big plus. Now, another great thing about Pinterest ads is that they can have a really big reach as they are repinnable and have a longer lifespan. And by longer lifespan, I mean that when someone has pinned your ad, you can easily find that pin back in that user's Pinterest board. So make sure you set up that interest business profile and let's get started. Now, let's talk about something new on the market. TikTok is basically a new social media platform and it's the most downloaded app since the pandemic. And that's exactly the first and main reason why you need to start with TikTok marketing for your business. TikTok is an app where you can share video content on, and don't worry, people on TikToks don't only dance in their videos. You can create many different TikTok videos, do other things than dancing, and that by using your own sound or trending sounds. More on the trending sounds later. Here are some great content examples for businesses on TikTok. You can explain more about a service or product you sell. Secondly, you can show a behind the scenes, show how your product is made, do funny things do funny voiceovers that can relate to your business, or just generally entertain TikTok users with your business related content. Now, let's get back to the trending sounds. Let me tell you about the key to success on how to grow your TikTok account. You do that by using trending sounds on TikTok. After spending some time scrolling on the app, you'll soon find out what the trending sounds are, but these are also pretty easy to find online. Combine the sound with your message or entertaining video, and TikTok might notice and therefore boost your content. But don't worry if you don't want to use a trending sound for your video, talking on TikTok videos is just as perfect as well. But when you do, make sure to include subtitles, which will give you an extra boost. Now, just like on Facebook and on Instagram, there are TikTok live videos. So, live videos are perfect for hosting Q&As for your business, which will lead to a more personal experience for your followers. There's just one obstacle. You'll need to have 1,000 followers in order to go live on TikTok. So, make sure you have 1,000 followers first. Now, the funny thing about TikTok is the fact that it's pretty easy to grow your account. For every video you create, you'll receive some followers. So once you have a viral video, you can imagine the amount of followers you will get. Now, what's so great about TikTok is that there's also TikTok advertising. As I said before, TikTok is the most downloaded app of 2020. That should be the biggest reason why you should consider TikTok for your business. If your business audience are rather young people, then you should definitely advertise on the platform. Although more and more people of any age are joining the platform. Let's talk about using the right audience for TikTok. Just like Facebook, TikTok allows you to make custom audiences and lookalike audiences, and also allows to retarget your audience using a TikTok pixel. TikTok ads objectives are reach, conversion, traffic, video views, and app installs. In the future, you can also create campaigns using catalog sales objective. TikTok is already testing that feature in the States and in Indonesia, so hopefully it will come out soon. TikTok has stated that you should run your ads like you would make a TikTok. So instead of those dry advertising videos, try making it look like an actual TikTok video. And I quote TikTok, tell your brand story in a uniquely TikTok way. But my overall biggest tip here is just to hop on as quickly as possible so you'll master the app once every age is using it. TikTok is also such a nice app to work with. You'll learn lots of things on TikTok. It can be entertaining, but it can also be informing. So just really make sure to hop on the trend as quick as possible. Now, this was it for Instagram, Pinterest, and TikTok. I really do suggest you listened carefully to my tips and hopefully you can use them for your business because in some years, in a few years, you have to be on those platforms. For example, TikTok, they say Instagram might die soon. And then there's TikTok. So make sure you are active on TikTok because once Instagram is gone, You will only have TikTok or Pinterest or other social media platforms. So it's just really important that you're active on every possible social media platform and build your brand on that platform, because you never know what the future might bring. All right, so I want to thank you guys for listening to my presentation. If there are any more questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rachel Onomusi. I am the CEO of VN Sync, and it is such a pleasure to be here with you today at the European E-commerce and Digital Marketing Week. Today, we're going to be talking about branding and driving transformation and innovation through digital communication. We're going to talk about how we digitize what is essentially a very human process and how we still ensure that we give our clients great satisfaction while optimizing results and the end goal for the brands or the services that we either own or we might be managing. I'm going to do this through a series of slides. This is only going to take about 20 to 30 minutes, and we're going to have time for some questions at the end. So just bear with me, and I'm going to share my screen right now, and we're going to get right into it. Fantastic. So once again, like I said, my name is Rachel Onomusi. I am the CEO of VN Sync, and I can be reached on my handles as down in the bottom left of the screen there. I'm going to go straight to the first slide where we talk about communicating great branding. Ashley Friedland says brand is the sum total of how someone perceives a particular organization. Branding is therefore about shaping that perception. When we think about all the things that go into creating great branding, we find out that it's a surprisingly human journey. Great brands guide the customer's expectations of our offering. They create clarity on what we sell, where we sell them, and when we sell them. They create a meaning around a particular product or service. Well, why do I need it? Why is it important? Is it a status object or is it an essential object? What would my life be like without this product? Next, great branding positions your pricing or your offering. Is it a reassuringly exclusive and expensive product, or is it a more accessible offering? Finally, great branding creates great customer connection built on trust and loyalty. When I start to see certain brands over and over again, I know what to expect and I am loyal to that brand. I will rather try that brand than a brand I've never heard of before. Of course, there are other benefits for the company, such as great branding helps define your target audience better for you. Once you know exactly who you are, what you stand for, and the kind of audience you're trying to attract, it makes it easier to create an exemplar and market to that socio-demographic band. It affects the kind of staff you attract. So do you have a transient work staff or do you have a more permanent work staff that have been with you for a few years? It builds a solid business culture and it demonstrates your value. So we tend to think about startups and fintechs as a more casual, more laid back scenario where they're quick with innovation and speed of turning things around, and they bootstrap a lot of their offering because they're constantly thinking outside the box and working at pace. And then we think about an investment bank and we think of a more staid culture, a more conservative culture, conservative attire, and new ideas have to go through a certain hierarchy before they're eventually greenlit and they can proceed and become a part of company culture. Finally, great branding helps fine-tune your business model and guides innovation efforts. Once you know exactly what your brand is, you can then guide your innovation in the right direction so that you stay true to your core offering. Once these things are in place, it helps steer the boat better during the time of disruption. The core of the brand remains the same, All that happens is we rethink business to drive innovation and transformation through disruption to come out on the other side. So we've all seen a few brands who have suffered as a result of the COVID-19 pandemic and the consequent lockdown. A lot of businesses that have thrived have done so because they knew at their core exactly what their brand was and what it represented. There are two ways of using digital communications to work through branding to come out on the other side after a disruption. It is to reimagine the customer journey and to rethink customer engagement with technology. So the first one is that we take data-driven strategy and digital expertise to restructure customer experience through new technology. Same customer, same product. How do we use technology to create a better experience? And the next thing is to plan how to use technology to engage with the customers. It's not technology for technology's sake. It's not throwing everything at the board to see what sticks. What can you automate? What can AI do for you? What can be done remotely? What innovations can you employ to understand how customers are engaging with your brand? There's a three-step process to innovation and digital transformation, and then how you use digital communications to push this towards your customer. The first is to identify the problem that needs to be solved. You need to identify the business outcomes you want to achieve through innovation or digital transformation. Doing this starts with ensuring you have a strong innovation in place and the strong innovation culture in place in the first place. The second is to build a culture with capabilities. You need to use hands-on customized experiences and tools that can quickly be learned by individual contributors, teams, team members, and even the senior leaders. So by this, I mean, once you've identified the problem and you're thinking about a solution, you have to embed a culture of innovation, a culture where it's okay to say, we're not doing this way anymore. We're actually doing it this way instead. We're going to try this. We're having teamwork. We're iterating. We're getting feedback from the customers, and we are actually acting on that feedback. The third is to extend impact. The preferred result is both a unique practice and one that supports the journey and helps brands to develop muscle memory. So you now start acting differently and thinking differently about your products and your offering in such a way that it sticks, giving all the team members confidence and the habits developed or needed to develop and spread an innovation culture across the firm. So I'm going to put this into practical example now by using one of the case studies that we actually worked on. So Access Bank, which is one of the largest banks in Africa, sponsored a marathon in Lagos, which is not quite the capital city of Nigeria, but it's certainly the most, it's the hub of the country, if you like. And what they'd initially done on their first outing of this marathon was to simply think of it as a marathon where people need to come run, and then they give them a gift, a prize offering at the end of it. And in the first year, they got less than 700 signups. And this was out of the 700 signups, about half, roughly half, showed up on the day. It was considered a failure, and our agency was brought in to help increase the numbers. And because it was being sponsored by a bank, a lot of the thoughts or the solutions during the brainstorming processes went towards, oh, we just need to increase the prize money. Maybe if we give people more money, they would be incentivized to run. Because nobody could understand how the idea of a marathon was so foreign that people didn't want to partake in it. What we did was to go back to the drawing board. Well, what's the problem? How do we create awareness amongst the people who have never traditionally seen marathons as part of their lifestyle? In East Africa, marathons are nothing new. But in West Africa and Nigeria, it was unheard of. And when people found out that they had to run 42 kilometers, it blew their mind. Why would I run 40? I've never run 42 kilometers in my life. Why would I do this? And there's no amount of money you could pay me that would make me run 42 kilometers. Those who came for the money very quickly realized that without the adequate training, they simply they couldn't get past the quarterway mark or the halfway mark. So we turned the idea on its head and we revolutionized it. And instead, we concentrated on creating a health and fitness lifestyle, which was something that was perhaps not alien to the States at the time, but certainly wasn't as far reaching or as far flung as it is in other cities and other countries around the world. And we started creating small groups of workout people who could meet if they lived within the same region or the same locality, and they could work out together. We started partnering with fitness apps and getting them to talk about the marathon and talk about what people could do if they wanted to run a marathon and how they built stamina slowly across the months leading up to the marathon. We talked about fitness tips, drinking plenty of water, ditching junk food for fruit and vegetables, and eating properly, and some of the great marathon runners and what their tips were and how they did it and how they go through. And we created such an inclusive community where we had children and adults that everybody soon heard about this great fitness craze sweeping the state, and everyone wanted to be involved. The outcome of that was not only that we increased sign up by over 800%, we found so many eager and interested young people who were willing to participate, and we couldn't have them participate in a marathon simply because an accredited marathon has certain rules. So we had no choice but to create a further run, which we call the 10-kilometer fun run, that includes adults and very young children, anybody who was interested in keeping fit. So if you were not qualified to run a marathon, maybe for age reasons or for health reasons, you could certainly join the 10-kilometer fun run. And then something went from being just alien and so I don't know what this is. Why on earth would I run this race, to an event that was heavily anticipated, heavily looked forward to every single year, and oversubscribed, as well as the 10-kilometer run, also oversubscribed. You can see on the picture on the far right, there's a much elderly man who's actually dancing. So this is one of the few aerobics and stamina clubs that we had going on, all linked to the marathon. You can see the stadium there in the background. The young girl on the bottom left of the picture her poster says, "Never too small for big dreams." She was a part of the 10-kilometer fun run because she was just too young to be part of the 42-kilometer marathon. And we communicated all of this through social media. We had Facebook Live events where teams got together and ran in small numbers. So they just did 10-kilometer runs or 8-kilometer runs or 20-kilometer runs as they trained leading up to the marathon. We used digital marketing and research and analysis to fine-tune the demographics, and we started speaking specifically to people in Nigeria. We had runners and athletes coming from outside of the country because they'd heard there was this amazing event that happened every year, and it was a celebration of health and fitness and exertion and good life, as opposed to, if you can manage to run this race, then you've got yourself some prize money. And this is how we turned around a brand that couldn't get subscribers or signups to something that was oversubscribed, but more importantly, anticipated and wanted, as opposed to being driven simply by financial. The number of people who ran the marathon just to get their medal at the end of the race and say, "We did it." And we had entire films made out of the most unlikely winners, and they're all winners, whether or not they won the prize money. They changed their diets, they changed the way that they saw life, they incorporated exercise and running, and they came on the day every year and they ran and they finished the race and they felt incredibly proud of themselves. And there are companies doing this all across the world, across various sectors, when we think about how you can harness digital communications to empower, embolden, enhance your brand's offering. So when we're thinking about the post-pandemic pivot, how we drive growth with digital communications, the first thing is going online. We see so many brands who previously weren't online now doing more and more to get online. We have health classes, fitness classes, yoga classes. From the comfort of your home, people were paying subscriptions that they would normally have paid to gyms to be able to work out. What this means for smaller brands and sole person brands is that they could actually have exercise, they could actually train their classes from the comfort of their home if they were previously unable to compete with the larger gyms in the local neighborhoods. Restaurants got on Grubhub, they got on Just Eat, they got on Uber Eats and started offering takeaways. Some of them started cooking in bulk. So you could order a curry, a 5-liter container of curry from your favorite Indian, as opposed to just the one meal for the Friday night. Telemedicine also enjoyed a surge when non-critical ailments were being treated virtually, and you could speak to your GP or your doctor over a video interface, and you could get healthcare with the same ease as it would take you if you walked into your clinic. The second is social commerce. We saw Facebook and Instagram shopping, social videos. We saw TikTok campaigns. We saw businesses have the best years of their retail life just because they went online, just because they harnessed the power of social commerce. Shops like Clues transformed their social feeds into shopping windows. They encouraged giveaways. Burberry encouraged the beautiful video footage where they turned the bags at 360 degrees, and you could see inside of the purses, and you could see the outside of the fabric and the trousers, so crisp and so clear you felt like you could almost touch them. Sephora didn't just create content, they wanted to create an experience. So you felt as though you were walking through a Sephora shop and you were doing all of this from the comfort of your home. Finally, artificial intelligence and machine learning came through in customer service, chatbots and voice prompts. I know there are many states in America that use this to great effect when their social services lines were inundated by hundreds of thousands of calls per day. And they relied on voice prompts to get people through to the most essential information. When am I going to get my social security check? When am I going to get my stimulus check? I am 52 and I can't go out. How do I get my shopping? All of these questions were being handled by states through voice recognition software and voice recognition solutions when they simply did not have enough humans to man the phones. So pivoting is possible. It's difficult, it takes planning, it takes strategy, but it is possible, and it creates a whole new world of possibilities. A great company that I would like to talk about is John Deere. John Deere is the brand name of Deere & Company, an American corporation that manufactures agricultural, construction, and forestry machinery, diesel engines, drivetrains used in heavy equipment, and lawn care equipment. Not the sexiest of brands, I'll grant you. They've been around for 180 years, and they're a pretty conservative company and a risk-averse approach to PR and communications. They prioritize content distributorship, wanting to make sure that their branches in places as far-flung as China and Turkey had images of tractors and lawnmowers and heavy machinery than they did over anything else. So what do you do when your biggest buyers can't come to your showroom to see what new tractors you've got, what new agricultural implementation you can offer them? You focus on relationship building and two-way engagement. Pictures like the one I've got with the cute little boy and the little chicken on top of his little John Deere tractor are one of the pictures from their Facebook page. They went down a route where they created a more human interaction with their clients. They were clearing, saying, we're an 180-year-old company. If we're going to be around for the next 180 years, we will have to continue introducing the latest technologies and innovation. One of those technologies and innovation include using social media effectively to keep clients engaged, interested, have their phone number out there, have their contractors or their sales team talking to potential clients, as well as increasing business opportunities with existing clients, and doing that over the phone or over a video call. They had Zoom conferences, and they maximized their use of social media and digital communication and digital marketing, looking into the lives, just as this little boy and his dad in the background, of a lot of their customers, and bringing out once again the humanity of what it is that they do. This is a fantastic example of a company that might not necessarily be in fashion or be one of the sexier brands. Might be easy to take a new purse to market. How do you market a 180-year-old company that sells forest machinery? John Deere showed us how, by showing a small boy and a chicken. Finally, I want to end by saying change is inevitable, but growth is intentional. The pandemic might have been a horrific disruption and pause in our lives. And there will be others, maybe not as traumatic. But the world does change. We have to decide if we're going to change with it. We have to decide if we're going to grow. We have to decide if we are going to adjust ourselves to the prevailing winds so that we can thrive. Make a decision and work out the best way to move forward. Your brands depend on you to get it right. Thank you very much. Once again, I'm Rachel Onomusi. I hope you enjoy the rest of the conference. There's so many fantastic speakers, and I'm definitely looking forward to hearing more and more as we go along. Thank you very much, and thank you for being a part of my conversation today.
LinkedIn is the largest social network for professionals. Nowadays, it is important what you know, but it is just as important or even more important who you know and which whom you can communicate quickly. It's time to take the advantage of the most professional social network. LinkedIn, it's about personal branding, opportunity, development, and online networking. LinkedIn also is the largest social network for professionals. It is an online tool, networking tool that can help you develop your company, target your services, or improve your career. Here is what I will share you today in this presentation. 1. Statistics about LinkedIn. 2. How to have a brand strategy on LinkedIn. 3. How to have a network strategy on LinkedIn. And 4. Which are the benefits of properly set and optimized LinkedIn profile, your LinkedIn profile. I also invite you to join the support groups and ask me for specific question for your activity. Before I start showing you the statistics about LinkedIn, let me tell you a few things about me, especially if it is the first time you see me. I'm Mihai Mihalcea, I'm from Romania, and I have over 20 years of sales experience and more than 15 years in sales management. As you can see, my English is not perfect, but I think the information you will access is extremely valuable and will surely be useful for you. I implemented in the Romanian market famous brands like Knorr, like Duracell, like Gillette, and I led small teams and remarkably large teams. The biggest teams I led was a team of over 2,000 salespeople. In 2016, I felt that I wanted to make a change in my professional career, but I still did not realize what to do next. Then, at a workshop with a business event called Business Days, I realized that I had an extraordinary, powerful resource and at my hand, namely LinkedIn. We were part of the largest network of connection, almost all workshop participants. I want to take courses about using LinkedIn and about how I can generate opportunities, and I could not find any. And I have an entrepreneurial spirit. I perceived this opportunity as a proof, and I soon started holding workshops and presenting LinkedIn even during business events. Now I do what I like. I help entrepreneurs, consultants, and companies to take full advantage of the most professional social network. So let's start to show you some slides. According to LinkedIn's official website, they have 5,900 employees, 33 offices, 24 languages. Also, nearly they have 74 million members in 200 countries and regions worldwide. You can have at hand and only with a few clicks global market over 200 countries. About statistic also. In Europe, 166 million users. In North America, 194 million users. In Asia Pacific, 201 million statistics. Also, in Latin America, 110 million users, and in the Middle East and Africa, 65 million users. Even during this challenging period, LinkedIn can contribute to the development of opportunity and careers. 6 million members taking advantage to open to work photo frame, and 40 million people using LinkedIn to search for job each week. Also, 3 people hired every minute on LinkedIn. This is the statistics, and as I said today, it is vital to network, and now we can have this possibility of networking very easily. LinkedIn users are open to sharing and receiving valuable information. In LinkedIn, like you say, 55 million company listed on LinkedIn, 1/4 open jobs on LinkedIn Jobs, and 6 skills listing. You can have this statistic on LinkedIn linked on my slide down on the right. About businesses, if you have a businesses, or you are in an entrepreneurship area, here are some remarkably interesting figures that will help you to make the right decision in your businesses or career. Let's see some statistic. 48% year-over-year growth in conversations of the platform. 50-year increase in marketing solution in 21 on LinkedIn also, and double over the year increase in learning content watching in 21, and listed this content. Let's see why are people on LinkedIn. I do some surveys and specific communication with relevant people, and I concluded that people use LinkedIn for 4 main reasons. 1, valuable information. The people have a perception that other social network consume time, while on LinkedIn invest time. Resources. The perception that here you can find the more resources and with added relevance for us. Connection. On LinkedIn, you can rapidly find appropriate and professional connection, and then this is the huge benefits for us. Clients and opportunities. Here people are more willing to listen and accept businesses proposals or collaboration. What influencers say about LinkedIn? Gary Vaynerchuk, you know Gary. It's one of the users with the largest impact on social media. Says that LinkedIn is the new Facebook for professionals, but without relevant strategy, you have nothing to do in LinkedIn. Many relevant voices also say that online success is ensured by visibility in a proportion of 70%. I do not know how true these percentages are. What I confirm is that when I made posts on a specific action on LinkedIn, I also had better results. For people to listen to you, you must have extraordinary, strong personal or business brand. Let's see how to have a brand strategy in LinkedIn. There are entrepreneurs and consultants who say they do not need a personal brand, and I answer that that is their personal brand. Whether you like or not, your personal brand develops in a positive or negative way. It can help it can keep your in place. I also ask you to consider the reality that your personal brand develop in two directions: what the other people write and say about you, and the action you perform. Obviously, it is too highly recommended to have a solid brand strategy to make a difference in your niche. Let's see the 4 pillars that I recommend for a solid purpose. 1. Set your brand goal. It's very, very important. Establish your visual identity. The people think visually. Content. You must post the mixed and can do the mixed post, and also constant communication with your market, your niche. Tips for achieving crystal clear brand goal for you. Let's do some work here and make some question. And this is the powerful question, and I recommend you to take a pen and paper and answer for this question. What is your area of expertise? Yes. What is your market? What is your niche? Who is your ideal customer or persona? What necessity do you solve? And what differentiating factors make you stand out? What makes you unique? So, how to have a network strategy on LinkedIn? Did I manage to convince you to have a brand strategy? If you have not had one yet, if so, let's talk about the networking strategy in LinkedIn, because like I said, the LinkedIn is the largest platform for professionals. The biggest benefits it offers is the speed which which connection can be generated between professional leaders, industry, and profession colleagues. Tips for connection on LinkedIn. Applying this strategy, I assure you that you will have a network of adequate connection that will help you a lot. 1. Open profile. You must have an open profile. You can go to the settings and make the profile open. Send connection request only to the appropriate people, the right people. Respond to connection request with a presentation message, the right message for them. Access relevant groups. It is groups here in LinkedIn, and most of them are relevant. And you must use the advanced search function. It's powerful function. I recommend you to make advanced search in LinkedIn. So even I left it for the end of my presentation. Your LinkedIn profile needs to be set and optimized accordingly. Settings and optimize your profile it is a must. Your personal profile can be a very effective sales funnel. It is not coincidence that I say I emphasize set and optimize this. You must keep in mind that all the fields in your profile must be filled in, but also that is information must be relevant and permits you to communicate your objective, which means it must be optimized. For essential settings and optimizing your profile generate either on amateur or professional perceptions. For our clients, we follow a checklist of 13 points, its settings, and optimize their LinkedIn profile, from which the most 4 things to keep in mind are this. 1. Image. Set an appropriate background on the profile image. 2. Headline. Your headline can generate either resistance or curiosity. About. Section about. Communicate. In this section you must communicate who you are, what you do, and how you can help. And recommendation. Recommendations are essential for online profile. This is the common mistake on LinkedIn. I made a lot of mistakes on LinkedIn and I still do. It is important to learn for this mistake to make progress. Here are the most common mistakes. 94% use LinkedIn to post content. So LinkedIn is not just about share. This is the common mistake, the big mistake, because like I said, the marketers use LinkedIn frequently. Content. 50 times more content with resources and information that job post. Yes, content. It's powerful also. And segmentation. Filter by criteria. Here in section of search, you can filter by criteria, by location, by jobs, by company, by experience, by interest, etc., etc. And you can find the right people for you and make the businesses, networking, or growth your career. Essential question. Why? This is the essential question. Because the people on LinkedIn be willing to they ask why they can communicate with you. I also had great reservations about believing that people would listen to me and follow me on LinkedIn, and what is why I started asking myself multiple questions. It is said that if you want to have a good answer, you must ask good questions. Here are the questions I recommend you answer to have more clarity in your LinkedIn goal. The first question, what is it for them? The value I can offer. How I can be visible. Adequate posts are relevant for your niche. Keep this question in your mind. Will they listen to me? Professional communication. You must be professional in your communication. And trust. Do you have real interest in helping them? They can feel that, and they share this trust with you. So I'm so glad you staying with me until this minute of this presentation. Because I really appreciate time, and the time is one of the non-renewable resources that we'll have, and I share with you the structure that we use in our team, and then can work with whether you can are an entrepreneur, consultant, freelancer, or professional. Let's see the great steps for LinkedIn you can have. Set your goal on LinkedIn. Like I say, Gary Vaynerchuk said also, you must have a goal on LinkedIn. Settings and optimizing your profile. You must look professional, and your profile, it's your business card here, and the largest networking online. Post with impact. You must be visible. Adequate connection. It's must. Lead generation. You can make and generate lead and clients also. And the sixth point, at the sixth point, you must setting the business page and the groups you can have your personal group. We know that these are challenging times, but it is the challenging times that gives rise to major opportunities. I'm Mihai Mihalcea. I'm passionate about LinkedIn. I'm just a click away. Bye bye. See you next time.
Hello everyone! My name is Paraskevis Firoera. I am a digital account manager at Forthright Advertising Agency. Forthright mainly focuses on medical marketing and more specific on website building, SEO techniques, social media strategies and advertising for private doctors, hospitals, pharmaceutical companies and health organizations. As head of digital marketing, my role is to train and develop my team while being a source of supportive power for them, build and execute social media post and ad strategies, and build strong relationships with clients. I would like to thank Digital for Foundation, the organizer of World Digital Weeks 2021, for the invitation and the opportunity I was given to participate in European e-commerce and digital marketing week and share my expertise on how social media is changing the healthcare industry. So, let's move on and see some general things about social media in healthcare industry. The development of technology is moving to new paths, finding alternative ways to penetrate and promote products and services. The rapid rise of social media has led to an increase in the number of online users as they can now meet most of their needs and preferences online. Think of the online presence as having a physical store. You expect people not only to notice it, but also get inside and shop. They expect the same level of service, the same brand feel, and the same shopping experience from you, no matter what. Digital marketing increasingly enhances the images and dynamics of a business through the new perspectives that are constantly presented. The majority of people, specifically 8 out of 10 Greeks, browse the internet daily and use it as their personal health advisor. It is worth noting that it is extremely important for the doctor to have an active presence on the internet, since a large percentage of people seeks information about diseases, symptoms, and doctors. As patients have more options than ever before, it's important to find a way to be unique. That's why it's so important to have a planned, budgeted marketing plan to reach new and returning patients at the right time. As all sectors in Greece and in the rest of the world were affected by COVID-19, healthcare industry couldn't be an exception. However, at the same time, it paved the way for new opportunities. Before moving to social media strategy, it's important to note that everything starts from a well-developed website full of credible, up-to-date health content. The website should be SEO friendly, have a decent speed that conforms to Google specifications, and provide a positive user experience. Social media and healthcare are a powerful combination. Today, patients are always online and from anywhere in the world. The use of social media allows an instant sharing of ideas, opinions, knowledge, and experiences. Social channels have become an important health resource for people. That's why health providers need to create engaging social content. The content also needs to be informative, timely, and accurate. At the same time, they need to follow all relevant rules and regulations. Social media has become the new word-of-mouth advertising. In today's digital-driven environment, embracing social media is a must-have for healthcare. Despite all this, doctors and hospitals were slow to realize the benefits of these platforms and start trusting them. However, social media can help them in different ways, such as reach existing and new audience, introduce new services, create awareness, provide customer service, and maintain reputation. Social media can be used efficiently in several ways. For example, by using sponsored ads, sharing posts, communicating and reaching targeted audiences at the right time. Usually, the social media platform that works best in the healthcare industry are Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Too many healthcare providers rely on organic social media results for a large part of their digital medical marketing strategies. However, it shouldn't be your only social strategy. Paid advertising on social media is a better way to reach the right people who may be looking for your services, even if you're not already connected. Healthcare has become patient-centric, which make patient engagement and satisfaction a top priority. It's important to understand what people want and what motivates them, so you can tailor your communication to their interests. Employing a social media expert has become a necessity. However, not many digital agencies focus only on medical marketing, and that's why they lack of expertise. The concept of medical marketing in Greece is directly related to the Forthright Advertising Agency, which specializes in this field. More specifically, the company collaborates with over 500 private doctors from all spectrums of medicine, hospitals, pharmaceutical companies, and healthcare organizations. There are many benefits from social media, but also several risks associated with their use. Let's see some key statistics. 28% of health conversations on Facebook support a health-related cause. 16% share health-related videos or images. People ages 18 to 24 are twice as likely to use social media to discuss health issues than people ages 45 to 54. 68% of parents used social media for health information. 63% of patients choose one provider over another based on a strong online presence. 60% of doctors say that social media improves the quality of care for patients. 31% of healthcare professionals use social media for professional networking. 41% of people said social media would affect their choice for a specific doctor, hospital, or medical facility. More than 40% of consumers say that information found via social media affects the way they deal with their health. 42% of consumers on social media view health-related consumer reviews. 32% post about their friends or family's health experiences. 24% of patients look at health-related images of other patients. 15% of parents with children under 18 have self-diagnosed a health concern based on information they found on social media. 44% of patients who search for a hospital on their mobile devices schedule an appointment. What are the most important benefits of social media in healthcare industry? Reach existing and new audiences. Introduce new services to your audience. Provide customer service via answering questions, messages, and comments. Establish and increase brand awareness. Take advantage of the power of groups. Raise awareness for health topics, new treatments, and issues. Sometimes it's as simple as reminding followers about common sense health practices or addressing common healthy living concerns. Educate your audience with short, engaging, and educational posts about health, and also direct them to credible sources. increase patient engagement with current and future patients, and build positive relationships. Social networks offer an opportunity to connect with potential study and survey participants. Despite your SEO strategy on the website, keep in mind that social media can help your ranking as well. Another important benefit is that you get inside information about competition and therefore improve. Spend time evaluating your competitors to get an insight into the services they offer and overall patient satisfaction. Promote your services in a cost-effective way. Advertise your most important and creative posts to boost your performance. Last but not least, having a marketing strategy helps you know what exactly you're going to achieve and in what time frame. This saves you from getting diverting from your goals. When you will compare the expected results of your marketing strategies with what you were actually able to achieve, it will give you a complete idea about where it worked and where you need to improve. What are the most important risks of social media in healthcare industry? First of all, the damage to your professional image and reputation. The public creates a perception of you based on your online behavior and the feedback you receive from others. It's a good idea to keep your personal and professional social media accounts separate and keep boundaries. Don't connect with your patients on your personal profile, but rather on your professional page. You never know who may get offended by a political or athletic opinion you may share on your personal profile. While social media is a great channel for promoting health education, a lot of health information shared on various sites lack quality and credibility. News travels fast, especially when it comes to the internet. If you're unsure about the content of your post, it's better not to post it. Always think first before posting or commenting anything online. Are you going to be actively involved to discussions online? What about negative comments? You should definitely deal with them carefully and try to understand the underlying reason for the response. Don't forget that these comments reflect patients' perspectives. Negative comments can be a motivation for you to provide better services and improve. Don't forget to follow all legal guidelines and act compassionate. Useful tips and best practices for social media in healthcare industry. Be honest, helpful, and compassionate. You must always provide trusted information and remain compliant. Don't forget to keep an eye on the comments users leave on your social media posts and profiles too. These can also create compliance concerns. You must educate your audience and share valuable content. Use inspirational content to motivate them. Health content doesn't have to be boring. Don't forget that you can also promote your own videos to make a difference. Infographics are also a good way to increase engagement. Don't forget about the power of health-related hashtags. Hashtags can help you appear in front of people searching for those exact keywords and therefore expand your visibility to them. Leverage and extend your online presence for greater involvement and visibility. Last but not least, share patients' reviews. However, you need to take special care when publishing patient content which would potentially reveal sensitive information or violate HIPAA in any way. HIPAA, aka Health Insurance Portability and Accountability Act, is a set of regulatory rules concerning the privacy, security, and integrity of confidential health information. Summarizing, social media is a powerful tool and a key place to gather real-time research and insights. Even though it can be hard to know how to navigate the challenges of social media in healthcare, the use of them also presents incredible new opportunities. With the help of a marketing expert, you can emphasize on your strengths, take advantage of the benefits, limit the possible mistakes and risks, target the right audience, whether new or existent, and lead to customer growth. Healthcare industry should undoubtedly use the means offered by the digital world and benefit from it. Overall, the benefits that social media provide are more than the risks. You only need to find the right way to use them to your advantage. Thank you so much for your time. Feel free to drop your question in the related LinkedIn group and I will be more than happy to answer it.
How's it going, everyone? I'm Mana Ionescu. I'm the president of a digital marketing agency in Chicago, Lightspan Digital. But I'm coming to you from beautiful Mexico, where I'm on vacation, and I want to send you sunshine and beach vibes. Today's presentation covers a lot of LinkedIn tips to help you learn how to make profitable connections on LinkedIn. So prepare to take some notes because I'm going to go through a lot of tips, at times pretty fast, because I want to give you a lot of tools to work with. I'm also going to start with actually some interesting news coming out of LinkedIn, officially from LinkedIn, about some things that are coming up. These news just came out at the end of March and in April of 2021 when I'm recording this. So let's get going. I'm going to share my screen with you. So why use LinkedIn? I mean, everybody right now is obsessed with Instagram and TikTok, and LinkedIn that sometimes gets forgotten, but it's still incredibly powerful professionally. It's a social network, so let's not forget that it's meant for networking. So for those out there who are very shy about connecting with strangers, it's a social network. It's meant for you to socialize with strangers as well. So take advantage of it. It's a big player actually in the professional space. 61 million linked users worldwide are senior level influencers, decision-making influencers. And the volume of content that's being shared on LinkedIn, while it doesn't match, let's say, Instagram, it's actually really massive in terms of depth. A lot of LinkedIn content is professional, and the big change we've seen recently in the past couple of years is that most people share pretty long posts. And I'll talk about some of the reasons why in a little bit. But 4 out of 5 people on LinkedIn drive business decisions. So if you're looking for decision makers, this is where you're going to find them. 80% of B2B leads come from LinkedIn versus only 13% on Twitter and only 7% on Facebook. And Instagram, new Instagram data matches that Facebook data as well. So much good data to look at here. 50%, LinkedIn makes up 50% of all social traffic to B2B website and blogs. Okay, now obviously that's for those who use it well, and that's what we're here. I want to teach you how to use it so that you see the same level of results. So let's dive into what's new and coming. This is really exciting and also very interesting to some, because it repositions LinkedIn from what used to, for many, be a type of a resume, a type of a professional profile, and sometimes not used for lead generation. Oftentimes it started as being used for job searching, right? What's coming, it actually kind of changes LinkedIn significantly. So we're going to see coming a video cover story feature. The whole social universe, every social network has heavily moved toward video, and LinkedIn has done exactly the same. So this video cover story will allow you to strengthen that first impression that you make by using a video as your cover. When you use one, it'll show up as a circle around your profile image, kind of like if you're familiar with Instagram stories, for example. LinkedIn is also introducing a creator mode. Rumor goes that it's for those who have over 5,000 followers. And this creator mode will display followers count and activity at the top of the profile. It also allows you to select hashtags and display those, and a few other details there. We haven't seen, this is being rolled out, so we'll see if some of these rumors are being confirmed. However, the official word from LinkedIn is that they are launching this, and that it's going to allow content creators to showcase their content front and center. So you'll see that follower count, you'll see that activity right at the top of the profile. If you're a LinkedIn live broadcaster, your profile background will now show your live broadcast when you start streaming. And LinkedIn is also adding additional search filters right when you start doing a search. And this picture here is a little small, but I hope you can see how a bar opens up on the right-hand side of the screen on desktop that gives you additional filter options, including, let's say, location and so on, right when you start doing the search. So right up front, you're going to have the ability to narrow down your search so that it's more relevant to you. So those are the big announcements, that a lot of them, and pretty heavy announcements. So LinkedIn has also announced that some of these features are going to be rolled out over the coming year. So for some of them, you may not see a change anytime soon. All right, let's talk about now the features of LinkedIn and how to make the most of them. Some of these may seem obvious to you, but I get a lot of questions. And so I wanted to answer the top questions I get, even if they may seem very simple, like what profile image should I use? One of the key things I want you to remember, especially if you're part of a larger company or a medium-sized company, is that a lot of the power for a company, a lot of value comes from the executives or somebody who's a primary, was going to be the face of the company. A lot of the value comes from those people being on LinkedIn and sharing their knowledge. So and the benefits go beyond just sales. Customers, employees, peers will feel a deeper sense of engagement with you and your company when leaders are on LinkedIn and are active. When it comes to individual profiles for everybody, one of the big questions I get is, what photo should I use? So although that seems like a basic question, here are some examples. Your profile photo should match your profession, your industry. So we'll see photos of engineers with a construction or an architectural background. Some of the most striking photos have a green background for some reason. That green pops, and when you use accents like that, it makes you more memorable. Because we have to remember the digital profile is our first impression. So those images that you use at the top of your profile, the first things you say about yourself are really, really important. So, to have the most impact, you have to do three things. The first one is to really consider how you can be the most authentic, the most genuine, because those are key elements to building trust and credibility. Second, show your expertise through content. We know this, and there's a lot of questions of types of content to write, and we're going to talk a lot about content in this presentation. And then the third thing is that you need to be consistent. Consistency always wins the game. If you're going to post and engage on LinkedIn once a week, do it consistently, and you're going to see great results. If you do it twice a week, great, but do it consistently. If you post 5 times a week this week and then don't post anything for a couple of months, it may hurt you in the sense that the LinkedIn algorithm likes consistency, as well as that the momentum that you're going to build with your followers may weaken over time. So I said, know who you are, who's the most authentic you that you can present on the social network. That's called building your ethos. Think of who you want to reach. So do some of this thinking before you dive into creating that content. We talked about profile photos. Here are some profile banner ideas. We get a lot of questions about this. The cover size, you have that at the top. And some ideas to include are tools that trade, a skyline, industry representation, just as I mentioned the engineering example earlier, your workspace or something really clean and simple like this image on the right-hand side or my right-hand side. Just keep in mind that your profile photo will show up on the left-hand side of this banner. So don't have anything there that, that would obscure, that where this profile image would obscure the message of the banner, or also something that may give you bunny ears. So have the image sort of positioned to the right, this banner image positioned to the right. So when your profile image is there, it doesn't really obscure the banner. Don't build your profile as a resume. And if we think about the new announcements of how LinkedIn is going to change LinkedIn profiles, right? They're going to create this new feature where followers and activity will show up at the top. So the actual CV style part of the LinkedIn profile is getting a downgrade in importance. And as you write your profile, think the key thing that I want you to take from this as you write your profile, and you should revisit your profile consistently every few months. And this is not because you changed your job, it's because you maybe have accomplished new things, or you've considered new ways of presenting what you're doing. And if there's one thing that I want you to think about, it is think of your superpower. Think about the things that you are doing really, really well, better than your peers, or that thing that just really fires you up when you talk about it, when you teach about it. And one of my philosophies is, and I actually stole this, I modified it, and the idea came from Jason Fried, who started, you might be familiar with Basecamp, the idea of out-teaching the competition. So posting on LinkedIn, sharing content, engaging should be a teaching exercise. We are all experts at something, whether it's, diets for kitty cats, we're all experts at something. Another question that I get a lot is about, when you get testimonials and things like that, where you get invitations, you don't know what to do with them if you don't know that person. Learn to reject, be okay with rejecting endorsement that are not in a good reflection of the brand message that you want to get across. It's okay. LinkedIn gives you the ability to do this, so take advantage of it. I love how this profile is written. I wanted to show it because it's written in a storytelling format. And it really shows some of those key elements that I talked about, the superpower, the ethos, authenticity. Starts with, I'm a social media enthusiast and LinkedIn's biggest fan. I believe that companies that engage their people in social media have tremendous advantage over their competitors. You see how it goes on. It also has bullets in here. So it highlights a few of the things that this person chose to showcase. So do dare to write your profile as a story. Then go through all the sections. This has changed a lot in the past couple of years. So there's many sections, and the featured section of the profile has taken more importance over time. So don't skip it. And here you can feature posts of yours. You can feature articles that you've written on LinkedIn, links, so links to white papers, case studies, YouTube videos, whatever other content that you've produced outside of LinkedIn. You can feature media. Okay, so take advantage of this, and I'm really highlighting the featured section there because that's really going to show what you're all about, but also LinkedIn seems to be giving it more and more importance. Keywords also matter, so try to write the keywords that you want to be found by, and a number of them. The search algorithm on LinkedIn is not like Google, so it's still based on keywords and volume of keywords. So try to consider that element as well as you write your profile. About accepting invitations, I talked a little bit about it, but set your own rules. Scan invitations though periodically so that you don't miss any important ones. You do not have to accept all of them. Set your own rules. You can also set rules where you accept an invitation, and if they annoy you with a message right after, you can just unconnect with them, disconnect with them. So don't take accepting an invitation as like, this critical step that you can't back out of. So what powers your profile are the posts, your reach, and the engagement that your posts get. So I'm going to go through a number of tricks to use when you share content, when you engage with people. LinkedIn, one of the first things to remember is that LinkedIn is awarding depth and time on posts. So you're probably wondering, why are some people getting so much engagement? They're using a lot of these tricks. Why are some people getting so many comments and views? They're using a lot of these tricks and understanding what the algorithm does, or what we speculate it does, because LinkedIn doesn't openly disclose it. So depth and time on posts. So longer posts keep people reading longer. And LinkedIn can see that somebody has stopped and is looking at a post for a longer period of time. So try to write deeper content. Post 1 to 3 times a week. The volume is not as important on LinkedIn. You're going to see posts that if they get a lot of engagement, they're going to keep showing that post for up to a week sometimes. Okay, so quality here is much more important than how much you post. Now, pick 3 topics that you're going to focus on that are common problems that your customers have and that you can solve for them. When you write your content, you can use emojis as bullets and as subheaders. And if you publish something and you see that piece of content picking up a lot of engagement, refrain from posting for a little bit until the engagement levels are starting to drop. Instead, you can reinvigorate that original post by adding your own additional comments, by adding extra links to that. So let's say that, when in one of the comments you say, oh, and here's another article that discusses this topic, add a link in the comments and so on. Here are some other rules to use while you're publishing. Make your post visual. Visual doesn't mean that you have a link that pulls in an image into the post. Add your own image. You can add up to 8 images, and in fact, you can create this slideshow carousel effect on LinkedIn. Use videos. Video posts show lower engagement but higher visibility. So don't shy away from them, or don't get discouraged if your videos don't seem to be doing that well. Use how-to and list-style content, and avoid question headlines. Add your question at the end of the post or some way midway through the post. Question headlines tend to lower engagement for some reason. Well, we could speculate as to what the reasons are. A lot of times, if the questions are not formulated well and it's a yes or no answer, there's no incentive for that person to participate further. Divide your post into 5 headings to attract and keep those views. People like to read longer format. Don't get your audience too fired up. There's been some studies that show that You want to stimulate some emotions, but extreme emotions actually can cause problems, lower engagement, and so on. And make your content readable, very quickly readable, we say, for an 11-year-old. If you use LinkedIn Publisher, reshare that article as a post as well. Thursdays seem to be a good day to post on LinkedIn. In fact, we hear the same numbers about YouTube, for example. And play around with polls. They seem to get a lot of engagement right now, and high volume of views. On LinkedIn, research shows that including photo increases views 11 times. And I've already mentioned this and I'm repeating it, so you make them visual. Put the link in the comments. And here's why. LinkedIn wants to keep traffic within LinkedIn. So to accomplish that, put the link in the comments. That way, the algorithm doesn't think that you're trying to send them off LinkedIn and then is not going to show it to as many people. If your post reaches a higher than average number of people, then add a link within the post itself. So you can edit it and add the link. Post videos natively, not links to videos on YouTube, again, because LinkedIn wants to keep traffic on LinkedIn. And again, if you publish blog posts, whether it's, if you publish blog posts within the LinkedIn publisher, reshare those. And because again, the idea is, so a lot of times what we do is we publish blog posts on a website and then we republish them within LinkedIn Publisher and reshare them as posts on LinkedIn. Because again, LinkedIn wants to keep traffic within LinkedIn. Add a personal touch. This quote comes from the CEO of Asia Law Network, Michelle Tan. She says, I used to share articles that I found intriguing. I realized that the engagement levels increased by 20-fold if I added a few lines with my thoughts on a certain article. It helps fellow users understand me on a different level. To work with the algorithm and get more views for your content, there's a secret side of LinkedIn called the LinkedIn Pods. And actually this is being used. There's people who are part of Instagram pods and so on. But you can create your own pods. And a lot of times these are just group chats where people help each other with their content. You post a link to your content and then people engage with it. You help each other get more views or comments and thus, extend the reach of your content. Another tip I have is to stalk the stalkers of influencers. So a lot of times your target audiences are going to be commenting on influencer posts. So instead of trying to get the attention of influencers, look at who's commenting on their posts and engage with them, interact with them. And after a few back and forwards, you can send them a connection invitation and continue the conversation privately from there. Give props. So when you get an email from LinkedIn that says so-and-so is in the news, or you see a notification within LinkedIn, go and post a congratulations message. Now, don't use the templated one that LinkedIn gives to you. Actually read or think through what this news is and provide a genuine congratulations. Do celebrate with people. Congratulate them for anniversaries, but again, don't send the standard message and wait a little bit. People get slammed with happy birthday messages, slammed with congratulations messages. Give it a few days until they've actually gone through all that noise, gone through all those messages, and then drop your message. Another really powerful thing, and you may have noticed the theme here, is that I really encourage you to set a schedule. On our website, we publish what we call the daily social media workouts. There's also one daily LinkedIn workout. So if you go to lightspandigital.com, we have a resources page where you can download this. but it helps to have a schedule where you commit to doing X things every day or X things every 3 days, as you can see here. Another thing that's often overlooked is messaging those who look at your profile. So you're going to see it on the left-hand side when you log into your account. And here's a testimonial that it works. Here's somebody who used my tip on that and was able to establish connections with people. A lot of times people will research but may not message you. They're still in the process of researching. So if you message them and you can be funny about it and say, hey, LinkedIn's kind of a creep. It showed me that you looked at my profile. How can I help? There's only good things that can come from that. Now, LinkedIn has another tool called Sales Navigator. So if you really want to be a stalker and do in-depth research for leads and watch what they're posting on social media, looking for opportunities to engage them in conversation, you want to use Sales Navigator. It's a paid platform, but for those who are serious about sales, I highly recommend using it. When you go in there, you can do searches, you can save people to lists, you can save leads, and then you're able to see what they're posting, you're able to see news about them, and that gives you an opportunity to build a relationship, and over time, you can translate that relationship into a business relationship. So those are the big things I wanted you to learn. So again, takeaways from today's session is there's some really big news coming out of from LinkedIn about features that are pushing the networking to a more content-driven platform than necessarily a job search, resume, CV type platform. The key to success is engagement. So comment on others' posts, but also create posts that are engaging, that invite participation. Use the search features and use some of those tips that I mentioned. So keep in mind that LinkedIn wants to keep people on the platform. So avoid links going externally, put links in the comments. Write in-depth content, use bullets by using emojis, and also emojis are being used more and more to accentuate emotions and other features. Post, you don't have to post a ton, but really try to solve problems for your audiences, teach the competition. I hope you enjoyed this session. And you can find me pretty much on every social network at Manamica, MANAMICA, or you can, I'm on LinkedIn by the same name. You can send me a message there, or you can email me. And I hope that you're going to have a great day now. And I'm sending you best wishes from Mexico.
Hi guys, I want to introduce myself in the next team in European Digital Week. My name is Lubomir Atanasov and I'm from Bulgaria. So I am here to introduce our company Tendrik and to talk about how to sell without selling. So Tendrik is a full-service digital agency based in Bulgaria. We are specialists in brand development and we help over 300 brands to grow. We are more than 25 skill specialists in our team and we have offices in the main cities in Bulgaria. Our team is very successful and we are based in top 10 in Bulgaria NGC. So we have our departments, we have several departments, project account management, web and development, we have sales and web support team, we have digital marketing team, we have SEO team, search engine optimization, and we have graphic design team. We are members of the most Bulgarian and European communities about digitals, and we are partners of Google and Facebook in advertising. Our office is based in Plovdiv main office, And we have IT Academy in our offices, and we are love to teach our team and peoples in the area. Our team, I love them. They are the greatest of all time, and they are the best. We do our love work every day for our clients, but the strongest part of our magic is the team. We have creative studio that we built, that we do some magic about photo shooting and video shooting about our clients, and just making video for our marketing. Our main services is complete online marketing, online ads, social media marketing, SEO, digital marketing strategies. We are good with copywriting and video marketing. In our second team in web services, we build online stores, corporate websites, and beautiful graphic designs. More brands we have worked, more good we get. So I can show you a short portfolio about our graphic designs with our clients about in whole Europe. You can see about them. We love to do some Facebook marketing and very good photo shooting. Facebook posts, banners, and website designs. Yes, we built the logo of Digital Foundation, the main organizer of European Digital Week, and many others like. In our team, we have very skilled people, and we love to do the work, the hard work about our clients. So here are some parts of the team. So my team today is how to say without selling and stand out from the crowd. In this part, I will speak about LinkedIn. LinkedIn is, we work with many different platforms from social marketing. We have clients in e-commerce and hotels and restaurants and etc. But when we have clients with B2B product and we want to connect with some people, we just do our LinkedIn research and do the magic there to contact and sell without to selling. So we can start with first step. So we must create a client facing profile. So I can get it on my LinkedIn. We are in LinkedIn, the biggest network of B2B and to have great connections with everybody. So let's start with your profile optimization. It's most important to optimize your profile to be the best good and to be some very clear about yourself and what you're doing. Let's start with the profile cover. My advice is to not pick up some screaming photos, just to put up photo on just maybe to clear photo, to show some nature and some clean picture, but not to put up I'm selling something. The most important thing about your profile is your profile picture. The profile picture, the picture must be clear. To be clear, just good as to see in the little small window like here or like here. So when the people search in LinkedIn, when they see the little picture, they must know is that you. So my advice is the picture to be clear in gray background or some clear background. Some people use dizzy backgrounds and the profile will show up in front. The next is to optimize, is to first optimization here is your baseline. What is your position in your company? What are you selling? What are you good from? What are you good of? So if we are selling something, we must say we are business manager in some area. The next step is to scroll down and to write more about yourself. You can write more about yourself and speaking everything for you and the people who will run to your profile. My advice is to use the profile with first place. I'm a manager partner and I want to meet people, I want to make B2B conversations with others and etc. So when your about information is good, you can put it your contacts details. So one fun fact about LinkedIn, you can optimize your link. It's when you go to settings, it's your link optimization and you can make it with your name or with your brand. How many with more many words in your about message, the more many words will be optimized in LinkedIn search algorithm. The next in your optimizing profile is your future images. The future images are the posts that you're proud of. Let's put your highlights of your profile. So here of my profile that we have some awards and here we have some cover magazine and we are on the cover. Here we are in the second biggest news in Bulgaria. So we are here with one podcast. I'm from the podcast The Superhuman in Bulgaria, and here's the successful people. And you can put it 9 futures. So when everybody wants to run to a profile to see how important you are, and I'm here just putting one picture with my family to say the business is just a game, the family is forever. It's not everything business, but you can show the people side of your profile too. When you're in a magazine, here I'm opening in one conference, and I'm in a book, on the TV, and etc. So when I scroll down, the third place is your activity. You must be very active. The next is your experience. I will give you advice to put it the whole information about your business profile. But if you have different business profiles mostly of the years, you can put it only the stuff that is now for you important. Now just like here, you can show how you many years you're in this company, and you can put it some future images, links, and website. Here I can put some information about the services in our company, some company presentation. You can put it, this is important when somebody wants to run to your profile, they can have the presentation or video presentation. I will give you advice just to put it in your profile directly. The people who will search in your profile, they will see that thing. Yes, we have to. So, and that's that we're going down. You can show your education, you can show your license certification if you have, and you can have volunteer experience. You can put it in your profile. The buttons for optimization is here in the front of your profile. You can put it here and give some information about. You can put an audio recording how is pronounce your name in English. Here in the drop down menu you can put it some features from image, from skills, and licensed volunteers experience. So just go down. After we are done with the education license, we go to skills and endorsement. I will advise you to put more skills that you know about yourself. Here in LinkedIn there must be 50, and I will give you advice, just put it 50 skills and ask people for endorsements. Then is the recommendation part. Receive and given. Ask people to receive recommendation. Here is the button. You can click and ask people to give recommendation about your profile. And here is the interests of your profile. So your profile is optimized. Here are the next steps. The next steps is how to create client-facing profile. And go to step 2. Identity and engage with the right prospects. So let's start with a good search. I'm interested with a B2B company in digital agents in Norway. So I want to work with Norway companies. I go to the LinkedIn search and then go to people. I go to people and then all filters, and just to make good search, you can say you can have second connection, countries, Norway. I want to search people in Google, in industry, marketing and advertising who will speak English, and you can do some more fixing. You can search with title, business development, or just with some different. So I'm searching right now for marketing. Just click apply and nothing here. Okay, just here, go apply. So the search of LinkedIn will give us some profiles that we want to connect, and we want to look up with some people that we want to connect. And when we have a profile that we want to connect, we click connect, but my opinion is to add a note. You can add a note. Hi, my name is Lyubomir Nasov, and I want to have you in my LinkedIn network or profile. My LinkedIn network is my LinkedIn B2B network, and have some topics about digitalization, and you can send it. You have 3,300 words, and you can connect. Once you will see, you can connect 99 connection per day without LinkedIn will ban you. So you can see in my profile I have for over the years many connections. Once your connections are here in your profile, they will be there. Step 3. Sort and serve. So when we serve, when we sort, we can sort with different profiles and have different connections. We can build different searches per day, and we build our sales strategy. What we will sell to this person, how we will say this person. You know, the selling process is not about sell everything at all price. You must to have inbound strategies. They must to know you already, and then you can speak about some interesting theme, and then you can arrange a meet with them. I think I will show you the when you sort and serve. And serve, you can send connections about your connection. So react, the step 4 is to react with the right audience. React with the right audience is about to find the audience, like we did it in step 3. You now will see your LinkedIn feed, followers, groups, friends of friends. This is the best place to have sales connections about your products. So in my Facebook, my LinkedIn feed, I have some friends, and I can speak with them in their profile. Hi, good post, and send it. Hi, my opinion is this. Is this, and then just to connect with the right people. Once they already react with the people, you can see about their profile reaction. They follow us, so we can connect with the followers from second and third connection. And we can read about the profile. My advice is to be very active in LinkedIn. You can see in my post, I will show you. Here some picture that I'm with some book advertising premiere in our town, and my first signature. So here I'm building a conference in Bulgaria, and I'm very active. My advice is to be active more than 3 or 4 times per week. LinkedIn is not like Facebook, every minute new news. LinkedIn have a profile algorithm that will serve interesting feeds to your profile more than 5 or 6 days. In Facebook, when the feed is clear, you cannot see it one day later. But in LinkedIn, when your profile is very active, the people will like it. The more and more LinkedIn will give this profile to your second connection and your first connection. You can search about some people that very interesting in your business. Like when I'm interested in entrepreneurship, so I can go to Gary Vaynerchuk, and I have Gary Vaynerchuk. His profile you can see about his profile. He have 4 million followers. So you can follow him, and when he drop a line, you can see how many reactions is there, how many people love his work, and you can see different profiles. Maybe these profiles will be your buyers and you can sell. So, and maybe I think is the most uh, important to find the prospects and to sell without selling is in LinkedIn groups. So the LinkedIn groups are very profiled. You can go to search and go to groups, and then you want to do a search with the group. In the groups, in the group, when you're in the groups, you can search about marketing, and you can see how many people are in the groups. You have only 20 invitation in the groups, and you can have 1,000 invitation joins in the group. So I will prefer to join groups like this amount, not with the 4 millions amount. So Digital Marketing Group Europe, listed group. So I can see some advices with people, I can react with them, and once I'm in this group, I can see the connections. And when I see the connections, I can just to write them without having in my friends. Hi, I'm in this group and I have some interesting thing to speak with you, and etc. etc. And we can speak about marketing, and when we know each other, when we start with conversations, and when our lead is not cold leads, and just to have some presentation of each other, we can arrange a meeting, and once we can do some sales. So, inbound marketing strategies. What is inbound marketing? Inbound marketing is to sell without selling. Is to show the people what you are, who you are, what you're doing every day, and when they are ready, they will show front and will ask you about some opinion. They will ask you about some offers, and they will ask you about to buy something from you. The people-based mind is the first thing they get in their memories is about the people they know first. So if you are specialized in digital marketing, and when they need digital marketing, they will get about you, and they will write you. Now that is the inbound marketing strategy. But what you can use in the inbound marketing? You can use in inbound marketing your everyday post, your professional post. You can think about your work, about your case studies, about your team. You can say more about your optimization of your business. So you have some awards, when you have some certificate, your accomplishes. I think it's important to upload with a video. People want to look with the video. In LinkedIn search algorithm, the LinkedIn video is the top 3 of viewed content. You can write with content. You can write with content with some articles that you want to write, and I think you can start doing it. I will save you more than 20 minutes about how you will be successful in LinkedIn, but the most important thing, you must be active. Active every day in LinkedIn. You can put it in 20 minutes only in LinkedIn. It will bring you some results. You can use some automation. We use in our company some LinkedIn automation tools that will automate your connections, and they will write messages to the people, and it's really good. You can call me. I will send you some interesting information about LinkedIn optimization. And I think my end of the story today is to just to be active. And how you can say without selling? You can sell just to only show people who you are and what you're best of. Just be the best, and they will come. So in the end of my journey, I will give you my connections. If you want to connect with me and you will have some questions about my presentation, you can drop me a line and you can say, hi, I want to and connect with me. It was nice to meet you, and see you in next European Digital Week 2021. Bye.
Hello guys, my name is Peter Jaksov and I'm managing partner at the full-service digital marketing agency called Tendric. Most of our clients are e-commerce businesses and we're helping them to increase their sales and to make the most out of their online businesses. In this presentation I'm going to give you tips about Facebook ads and what you can do in order to use them for your online shops. I'm sharing with you few results with few of our clients, and the things that I'm going to share with you today, some of them they might be a bit more complicated, so please, if you have any questions, write me afterwards. I'll try to explain to you. Because we don't have a lot of time, I'm just going to jump to it. So one of the tips that I'm going to give to you, it's ads with product catalog. They're really common at the moment for online shops, and they're giving huge results. This small example of how they look like, you have seen them a lot, I'm sure, out of it, but in order these ads to work, you have to have dynamic product feed. That would mean that it is uploading constantly, and it is feeding the newest products, and it's changing constantly. You have to, of course, connect it to your Facebook pixel, and this Facebook pixel needs to have events in order this thing to look, because it is very important to use it, especially when you're having dynamic ads from website visitors, people that they have visited specific products or made add to cart, and this way these ads are extremely helpful, because they're showing to your potential customers the exact products that they have seen, and the results are really good. But you can also use product catalogs for new audiences, and even if you make a broad new audience for people that haven't visited website, also the results that you can get from it, it's really good, because Facebook knows what types of products the Facebook users they're looking for, and it might show your ad to the specific users that they're looking for products that you're offering. Also, I would really suggest to use different product sets, because even if you have, let's say, niche online shop, for example, you are selling only women's shoes, you can still make few sets, but let's say that you are selling men's shoes, women's shoes, kids shoes, then it's really important to make different sets for each type of the categories that you have in your online shop, because each audience is pretty different. Also, of course, turn off the products that you don't have them on stock anymore, but you can also manage it in your feed. So when a product is out of stock, it's not going to appear in Facebook ad. And of course, it's good to make a branded ad template that is going to look good with your products, and the same way is going to promote your brand. Lookalike audiences, it's another tip that I'm going to give to you. It's really important to use them, because this way you're asking Facebook to find you people that they look like your core audience, or the people that are your clients. And for this reason, in order this thing to work, because it's not enough just like to have lookalike audience, because this lookalike audience, you have to have a really good source. So you have to find this source, and it has to be very specific. Let's say it might be a good source to be people that they have purchased from your online shop. It might not be that good source of only people that they have visited your website, because they're not your clients. So think about it. You have to have a good source in order to use this source to create lookalike audience. Also, I would suggest this source to be to be value-based audience. This way, let's say people that they have purchased product, it's okay, but like some people they might have spent, let's say, 10 euro, but others they might have spent 100 euro. This way, we're showing Facebook, or Facebook is distinguishing the customers that are purchasing more, and this way it's the algorithm is trying to find similar customers based on the value of their purchases. Also, it is really important to have a good sample size, because if you have, let's say, 20 or 30 people who did a specific action, this might not be enough to have a good sample size. Good sample size, it would be something which, from my experience, has to be at least 500, even I would say 1,000 people or events that they were made, and it can go up to 10,000 people or events, because if it is more than that, this sample size, it might be a bit polluted. So I would go for a sample size that is that has enough data in it. Otherwise, if it's too small, it might not be enough in order to create a good sample, and after that to use this sample for a lookalike audience. Also, recently, over the last year, I would say Facebook is performing really good, especially if we have a bigger percentages lookalike audiences, and because this way the algorithm is trying to find the people that are more willing to purchase the products that we want. And I would suggest, if we try and test different types of lookalike audiences, because we cannot be sure which exact lookalike audience is going to be a winner, we should choose similar sizes audiences. Because let's say if one of our lookalike audiences is 40,000 people, and the other one is like 500,000, well, the bigger one is going to get most of the budget, so we might not have a really good test, and this way we might not see which audience actually is better. Also, the optimization of campaigns is really crucial for e-commerce, and we have to perform it really often and really good. I would suggest to use campaign budget optimization. It is performing currently, from our experience, of course, really good, and most of the cases we try to compare it with the typical budget ad optimization. Campaign budget optimization is doing really well. Also, in case when you have different audiences, campaign budget optimization, we don't have to optimize it that often, because the algorithm is towarding the traffic towards the better performing ads. Also, I would suggest to optimize daily, or at least to check the ads daily. And if we don't have these options, at least to put some automatic rules if we cannot do it every day. I would suggest to optimize in the morning, because when we change something, it will have time to be the change to have effect during the day. Because if, let's say, if a campaign is not performing really good and we optimize it or we change it, there would be no point if the budget is already gone. And also, we should, if we have a fixed budget, let's say, it's good to allocate it accordingly. I would say like small changes, not to reset the data that it was already collected. So we can change it, let's say, 20% more or 20% less, and this way you can allocate the budget according to the campaigns that we have at the moment. And also it is good to test at least 2 audiences or at least 2 ad creatives. Like it can be different designs, it can be different text, but it's always good to test and to see which one is performing better. And of course it's good to put some automated rules in case if the things they don't go really good, especially if you have a significant budget. And for for a bonus, I would really advise you to try instant experience ads for e-commerce, because they're also giving really good results from our experience. So try them. Here it is just example how usually it looks like, but you can use it as well. That was me. Thank you very much for listening. I hope that this information it was useful for you, and you can test it. You can try it, and I'll be more than happy if it helps you grow your e-commerce business. If you have any questions or you need help, please write me. Those are my contact details, so I'll be happy to help you. Thank you very much.